The distress beacon pulsed weakly through the crimson mists of Veilcore Prime, a planet where death wore many faces and mercy was a foreign concept. Commander Driv of the Tazaric Elite Guard received the signal with practiced indifference, another fool who'd ventured too close to the Bloodlands, where the apex predators of 100 worlds came to prove themselves, or die trying. What made him pause was the signature. Human. Humans were rare in this sector. Their fragile bodies ill-suited for the brutal realities of the Outer Rim. Yet here was one. Her beacon flickering like a dying star somewhere deep in Predator territory. Driv's 4 eyes narrowed as he calculated response time. 6 hours. She'd likely be bones and regret by then. Still, protocol demanded investigation. The Tsarek hegemony had treaties with Earth, however tenuous. He assembled his unit and departed. Kayla's world had collapsed into fragments of pain and crimson-soaked earth. The crash had shattered her ship and nearly shattered her along with it. Her left leg was pinned beneath twisted metal, her suit's medical systems frantically pumping her full of coagulants and painkillers that barely touched the agony radiating through her bones. She'd survived worse, she told herself. Mars Rebellion. The Proxima Incident. She was a xenobiologist, trained to handle hostile environments. But as night fell on Veilcore Prime and the hunting calls began echoing through the jungle, Kayla wondered if her luck had finally run out. The first creature emerged from the underbrush at twilight, a juvenile vexhound, all midnight fur and too many teeth. Its eyes gleamed with predatory intelligence as it approached her wreckage. Kayla reached for her plasma pistol with trembling fingers. Then a second appeared, and a third, cubs. 3 of them. Barely past their first molt, their killing claws still soft and untested. They circled her cautiously, curious about this strange wounded thing that smelled like fear and metal, and something else, something their instincts couldn't quite categorize. Kayla held perfectly still as the largest cub approached, its nostrils flaring. It could tear her throat out with ease. Instead, it tilted its head, studying her with unsettling intelligence. "Hey there," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Not hungry, I hope?" The cub made a chirping sound, almost playful, and settled down beside her. The others followed suit, forming a protective semicircle around her broken body. Kayla's mind raced through her xenobiology training. Vexhounds were pack hunters, fiercely territorial, known to devour their own wounded. They shouldn't be protecting her. Yet here they were. 3 juvenile predators who'd apparently decided she was worth guarding. Perhaps it was her scent. Humans carried unique pheromones that occasionally triggered unexpected responses in alien species. Perhaps it was simple curiosity. Or perhaps, Kayla thought with delirious hope, the universe still had surprises left. As the night deepened and true predators began prowling the jungle, the cubs stayed close. When an adult Razorcrest approached, drawn by the smell of blood, they drove it back with coordinated strikes that belied their youth. When scavenger beetles crept toward her wounds, the smallest cub crushed them methodically, one by one. They were protecting her. Actually protecting her. Kayla drifted in and out of consciousness, her hand resting on the largest cub's flank. Its heartbeat was rapid, powerful, a drum keeping time with her own fading pulse. Commander Driv and his unit arrived at dawn, weapons raised, expecting to find a corpse and maybe some interesting forensic data. What they found instead made him question his perception of reality. The human was alive, barely, pinned in wreckage, and surrounded by 3 juvenile vexhounds who looked up at the approaching soldiers with eyes that promised violence. The largest cub positioned itself directly over the human, teeth bared, while the others flanked their position with tactical precision that would have impressed a trained soldier. "Hold fire," Driv commanded, his translator struggling with his astonishment. "What am I seeing?" His second-in-command, Lieutenant Korva, lowered her rifle slowly. "They're guarding her, Commander. Like packmates. Like family." Driv had served 40 cycles in the most hostile regions of known space. He'd seen Vexhounds tear through armored battalions. He'd watched them devour their own wounded without hesitation. But this was impossible. "Approach carefully," he ordered. "Do not threaten the cubs." And, as they drew closer, Driv could see the extent of the human's injuries. She should be dead. Would be dead, if not for the 3 young predators who'd somehow decided her life was worth preserving. One of them had even dragged nutrient-rich moss to her, instinctively trying to feed her. Kayla's eyes fluttered open as Driv knelt beside her. "Commander," she whispered, managing a weak smile. "Sorry about the unusual company." "How?" Driv asked simply, gesturing at the cubs, who watched him with deep suspicion. "I think." Kayla coughed, her hand still resting on the largest cub. "I think they imprinted on me. Something about human biochemistry. Or maybe they just decided I was worth saving." The cub beneath her hand growled softly, not threatening, but protective. Possessive, even. Driv's mandibles clicked in what might have been respect. "In 40 cycles, I've never seen anything like this. Humans are supposed to be weak, fragile, yet you've accomplished what no Tsarek warrior ever has earned the loyalty of Veilcor's apex predators." "Not earned," Kayla corrected, her voice fading. "Received. As a gift. From 3 cubs who decided mercy was stronger than hunger." As Driv's medics carefully extracted her from the wreckage, the cubs followed, refusing to leave her side. When Corva tried to separate them, they became aggressive, forcing the soldiers to transport all 4 together, human and her unlikely guardians. Aboard the medical ship, as Kayla slipped into regeneration sleep, the largest cub curled beside her pod, its eyes never leaving her face. The other 2 took watch positions at the entrance, self-appointed sentinels for the fragile creature who'd somehow earned their devotion. Driv watched them through the observation window and felt something shift in his understanding of the universe. Humans weren't just survivors. They were something else, something that could inspire loyalty in the most unlikely allies, that could turn predators into protectors through nothing more than their presence. Perhaps that was humanity's real strength. Not their weapons, or their ships, or their stubborn refusal to die, but their ability to build bridges in the most impossible places, to turn enemies into family, to show mercy in a universe that offered none. As Veilcor Prime faded behind them, 3 predator cubs kept watch over their human, and Commander Driv updated his report with words he never thought he'd write. "Humanity's greatest weapon is not violence, but the inexplicable ability to make others care."